There's a certain feeling, like catching the last rays of sunlight in the corner of your eye, or hearing the distant hum of a song you barely remember. It's a kind of longing, not for your own past, but for a version of the past you've pieced together from fragments. This is Anemoia. It's the ache of nostalgia for a time you've never known. A dream of warm afternoons in the 90s, or quiet nights in the early 2000s. Even if you were too young, or not even there to experience them. It's the kind of feeling that clings to liminal spaces, the places that exist on the edge of our memory, suspended in a haze of childlike wonder and quiet reflection. Anemoia, a term from the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, captures the unique nostalgia for a time you've never experienced. It's not tied to personal memory, but instead a collective imagination. In general terms, anemoia is usually used to refer to a broader spectrum of nostalgia, namely some who find fragments of familiarity in time periods such as the 1920s and 1950s. But the corner of the phenomenon I want to discuss revolves around a more recent time. The time of childhood for those who grew up in the 90s and 2000s. Being born in 2004 myself, I had a small grasp on certain concepts left behind from this period, right before my birth. Namely, through my older siblings, I was able to enjoy small things from a time in which I wasn't present to experience. This video is for those who harbor similar feelings to the ones I have. Those of us who grew up longing for an experience of a time right before us. These glimpses of a time you never truly knew. The colors of VHS static. The hum of a dial-up modem. Or the glow of a CRT screen late at night. They feel like whispers of a shared collective memory. It's not about the details themselves, but the emotions they stir. Anemoia thrives in the spaces where memory and imagination overlap, creating an idealized version of the past that never fully existed. This phenomenon exists not only in the big moments of the past, but the small moments as well. They're not loud or overbearing, but fleeting and subtle, like echoes. These small, fleeting moments are the essence of anemoia, a soft ache that pulls you towards something undefined, yet achingly familiar. This feeling resonates with the imagery often found in liminal spaces, the quiet in-between places that are neither fully here nor there. They are the moments where time seems to stretch and bend, where the air carries the weight of something just out of reach. Liminal spaces, by their nature, are defined by transition. They exist in a place of ambiguity, in a space between two states of being, much like anemoia itself. Both are caught in the moment of flux, where you can't quite hold on to the past, but you can't let it go either. In a liminal space, everything feels vaguely familiar, like you've been there before. Yet the details are disoriented, just enough to feel strange. It's the kind of place where you might wander through an empty hallway in an old house, the floorboards creaking beneath your feet, or standing in a dimly lit store at the cusp of a closing time, with the doors locked, but the lights still on. There's a stillness, an absence of certainty, that mirrors the disquiet of anemoia, a sense that something important is just out of sight, like a memory half remembered, or a place that no longer exists, but feels like it should. But Anemoia is more than just atmosphere. It's about the deep, personal connection you feel to the past that was never yours, and the way it shapes your present. It's a sense of longing that doesn't demand resolution, only recognition. At its core, it's a kind of quiet yearning, one that lingers in the spaces between what was and what could have been. It's the soft ache of something distant and elusive, a version of the past that never truly existed, but feels as if it should. It's the collective memory of an era you weren't part of, yet find yourself inexplicably drawn to, as though it holds the key to something undefined, something familiar but never quite yours. In the end, Anemoia isn't about reclaiming what's lost, but about acknowledging the beauty of what we've never known. It's a reminder that nostalgia can transcend personal memory, creating a timeless bond between all of us. One shaped not by experience, but by the echoes of the past that exist only in fragments. It's a longing that never fully resolves, but perhaps that's where its power lies. In that ache, in that quiet recognition, we find a connection to something larger than ourselves. A shared imagination of a time that once was, and in a way still is. In our shared longing sense of nostalgia, we find peace. Thank you for watching.